I want some breakfast. We're taking the Rowdy on the last little drive before we change the clutch and the flywheel. Just to remember quite how bad the gear change was, etc, etc. Yeehaw. Shit. That literally weren't coming out of gear. I think I'm going to park over there. I actually had to pull it out of gear a little bit, so let's hope it makes it. Yeah, let's hope we make it all the way back home with breakfast. Oh, she's tight. Yeah! We made it! Now let's throw a clutch in it. Today's the day. She wants to drive no more with the old clutch. To be fair, it's done 215,000 miles, with the last 15,000 fairly abusive driving. And I like the sound of the turbo. It's not my fault. But yeah. So it's had a good old life. That clutch and that flywheel is probably gonna start being on block, to be honest. The springs are probably way past their usable point, and seeing as we are going to be tuning this car, we're going to go stage 1 and start changing some nozzles and turbos and go for some big power. Say big power, it's all relative. This is an old VP diesel lump, but we're going to be tuning all that ourselves because it's more fun that way, even if it is more complicated. Either way, we want to be able to take more power, so we are going singleman's flywheel and a new clutch from Darkside. So as you can see, the Audi's in the air, got the wheels off. I drained the oil when it was warm. Now it's worth saying, I'm only draining the oil because I'm going to be taking the sump off because I'm doing the rear main seal, so that's obviously not part of your regular gearbox removal procedure, but I'm doing it here just because. So I'm going to start off up top, get the airbox out of the way, get the battery out of the way, and go from there. So, battery out, let's go after the battery tray next, right down in there. I've changed my mind, we're taking the airbox out next because it's easier to film stuff, you can see more, so airbox out next. Got 10mm screws there and there, disconnect the MAF, disconnect the tube, your intake pipe, and we'll whip that out. Mate, this wind is so much. I hope you can hear alright over this wind that is everywhere and is clearly not stopping. Country life, yo. So, airbox out the way, we're going to go battery tray next. With these bolts, so you don't lose them, stick them back into the holes where they came from. So, there and there, form the airbox bolts, and stick the battery clamp back in, because then you'll know where to find it when you come to stick the thing back together again. Remnants of the mouse in the battery tray. Poor old dead Derek, still living on at BLG. eating fig rolls. You know the story. Oh, dead Derek. What a little mouse you were. We're gonna have to get rid of your little remains of your house. So, I think we're going to go after the starter next. We'll get this out of the way so we can get this bit of wire and loom, your main feed out of the way. Look how corroded that positive terminal is. I need to sort that out. Right, anyway, starter next. Let's crack on. Well, that was seized in there pretty good, but it's out. And hang on, let's get some zoom on the go. Look at all that corrosion. That is what was seizing this starter in place. So I have to clean all that up before I chuck it back in. But for now, I am throwing the hardware back on it. Nice. Start her out. I think we should go after gear links next. That's a nice idea. Got a 17mm spanner. Pop. Same for the bottom one. Pop. And they both out. And next we've got 3 bolts, all 13s down the back. And we're going to have to unclip the... what is that for? That is the hydraulic line for the clutch. We'll have to unclip that as well. And then we'll get them cables out the way. So, gear cables are undone. Down the back. Can you see where my hand is? There's a little sensor on a multi-plug here that just wants to foul on the gearbox nicely. There you are. That's disconnected, and I will loop that up out of the way. Tuck that over there. Don't forget about it later. But now we can get these bad boys nice and out of our way. I'll tuck them up the top somewhere. And that's looking a lot emptier already. Nice. And next we're going to go for this little support bracket bar thing right there. Seems to have 13 at both ends. Crack on with that. Turns out it was a nut and bolt at the bottom, but hey ho. Start to chuck a bit of tape around them bolts that are just loose, because then we're not going to lose them. I think next we'll disconnect that clutch line. Let's get a bit of focus in there. Nice. So we're going to pull the little clip out of there. Don't lose it, don't bend it, don't break it, or it definitely needs a new one. So if you ain't got a new one, remember that. I'm going to use a little pick to get that off, and then this bugger over the end of the cap, because I'm pretty sure that's what seals them from factory, or when they come out the parts box. I'm going to shove that on the end and stop the hydraulic fluid getting everywhere. Well, I won, but I don't know if you can see. There you are. It's bent. I lost. It needs a new one. Probably took me like 20 minutes to get it off there, because look how rusty it is. It's just seized solid in there. Oh well, it's out now. Just get the clutch line out and carry on. One of those things, rusty old cars, eh? So we're off. As you can see, it's got a nice little cover on the end of it. Now obviously if you press the clutch pedal, that'll just pop straight off because of the hydraulic pressure, but as long as you don't touch it, that'll be alright. Let's get some focus. Just look at the colour of it. It was completely seized into the back of the slave cylinder, which wasn't fun, so I had to cover that in Gibbs, which is the most awesome lubricant in the world, and kind of chiseled it off with a hammer and a little chisel just to get it off there. I want to keep the pipe because I ain't got a pipe to reuse. However, we've got a new slave cylinder going in, so I'm not too fussed about breaking that, but it's off now, onwards and upwards. So that pretty much covers stripping the top of the engine to do the clutch and flywheel, to get the gearbox out. The next episode we are going to be doing a drive shaft and underneath bits, and hopefully getting the gearbox out. Make sure you press subscribe so I don't have to keep splitting these videos into so many parts, and put in the comments any suggestions if you like all of these things. Until next time, peace.